is a published author. And so this is my book, just in case anybody was wanting to grab it. You can grab it on Amazon. Here it is, Tammi Morrison, Walking Away. And it is so many of my patterns. Y'all see me there on the back. This is actually my very own second book. The first book I wrote was an anthology. And here it is. Unchain Me Mama. This is an anthology. So there were 9 of us that wrote, including our visionary author. That is me right there. But we wrote about our mothers, and it was a healing book. It was really a book of healing for us to celebrate and share some of those stories so that we could help other people that were dealing with stuff like that. Because we noticed that so many people had mother issues. So that's my second book. My first book. Both of those are available on Amazon. I think the link is in the description. If it's not, I'll put it there. But you can grab that book on Amazon. So that being said, how spirit works. And so I wanted to share this because I started preparing a course. I got this idea to do this course on helping people to connect your chakras as well as your psychic gifts. And so that's going to apply with psychic gifts and mediumship. All of that is going to be in a course. And so it's talking about understanding the root chakra, the first one. And so what I did was I started really seeing the connection between the chakras and the gifts. And so what I want to say is how spirit works. And I can share, references from my own journey, which is what I typically do, or other people that I've heard. However, I'm going to talk today about how spirit brings you messages. And so a lot of times, we all have spiritual gifts, and we all have them, and we've had them all of our lives. Most of us don't realize that we've had them once we become adults, but as children, they're really big and deep for us because we haven't been tainted. There isn't all of this, you can't do it. That's your imaginary friend. Matter of fact, I just saw this movie pop up for me called If, and it's about an imaginary friend, and so I'm definitely going to watch that. But when you're a child, they tell you that you don't see what you think you see. You don't hear what you think you've heard. All kinds of different things they tell us to block us from connecting to our soul self and to our God self and to our gifts. And so how we feel spirit, we feel it sometimes. And I'm going to give you an example. For me, a lot of times I feel it in my solar plexus, which is in my belly area. And when I start feeling fear, or if something is bothering me, a lot of times I'll feel it there in my solar plexus. Sometimes I'll feel it in my heart. When I get information that comes in from, thank you so much. When I get information that comes through, many times it'll come through as, hearing, which is clairaudience. It'll come through as feeling, which is clairsentience. And you can feel in your heart, you can feel in your body. Sometimes you'll get goosebumps. That is a form of feeling as well. And so when you start getting information, stuff starts coming through, especially if you are psychic or medium, or you identify that way, or if that's showing up for you, or if you're like me, you were in the spiritual closet for all of this time. Because, for me, I was afraid to come out. I was afraid to tell people that, yes, I do have these gifts. I was raised Pentecostal holiness, so that was, a no-no. That was like, all that was the devil. And so when I started really, deciding that I was going to come out and share this. And to be perfectly honest, I actually was pushed and guided by my spiritual team to come out, because I know that people need support. Sometimes it's just that people need love. They need to hear that somebody loves them. And sometimes it's people across the veil that they need to hear from, that they want to hear from, and sometimes, if you have these gifts, then you can bring them forth, so a lot of times, I'll get particular nudges, from the spirit world, especially if somebody that has transition comes through. A lot of times they'll come through, and for me, they come through and share like how they felt. So I can feel them really intensely. I also can hear, and then there are times when I just know. I don't even know how I know. And so that is also another gift, claircognizance. And that is another way that messages come through for us. And sometimes you don't even recognize or realize, but something will come through, like you'll see something, and that's clairvoyance. You'll see like a flash. Sometimes it's a vision. Sometimes you'll see it in dreams. Sometimes you'll see it in, I just call them flashes, because sometimes that's how it comes to me. So like sometimes when I'm in a session with someone and I'm sharing, what I get, because that is really what you do, is when you're in a session with someone and you are receiving information, you just share what you get. You don't judge it, you don't qualify it, you don't classify it, you just share what you get. And so if it comes through, say you're seeing a color blue, you say, I see the color blue. Well, it might not mean anything to you, but it will mean something to the person that you are reading. You might say that, I hear a Harold name, coming through. And they're like, oh, that's my Uncle Harold, or that's my grandfather Harold, or whoever. You see what I'm saying? And so these are messages that come through to us that once we give them out, we're not responsible for them anymore. We're really not responsible when we get them. We're only responsible to give what we get. And so when the messages start coming through our bodies, and that is typically how they come through. Like you will see something, they use your senses. And through that, your chakras are being used. And so typically, like the root chakra is located at the base of your spine, and it's near the tailbone. And typically it is concerned with survival issues. So if you are supported. And so for me, that means a lot, because today, actually, when I did my own reading, that was one of the things that came through for me, was you are supported. And so that makes me know that I am working with the root chakra, because I am is a part of the root chakra, because it is all about survival. And so if you are wealthy, you are whole, you are, loved, all of these things are, definitely coming from the root chakra. And so as you use these things, and as you use, each one of these chakras, because there's so many things, like the root chakra is really concerned with grounding in your psychic and your mediumship gifts, because it helps you to anchor yourself to the earth so that you can be balanced in your work. A well-rounded medium is able to manage energy exchanges with the spirit world without becoming overwhelmed or disconnected from the physical reality, because that happens. That happens. A lot of times that happens. And this is when you'll see a lot of people, have to go and get some help. They might need to go in a facility and sit and get some assistance, because a lot of times the reason behind that is because we're not grounded. And so our root chakra is one of the things that helps us with that. And because here's the thing, if you are ungrounded in your root chakra, it starts causing you feelings of anxiety, insecurity, difficulty focusing, which can hinder your ability to connect to the spirit world. And so as you begin to receive and get these messages, another way that started for me with the messages, I started with my clairaudience, which I have always had, just didn't realize that's what it was. And for some of you, you're going to recognize and you're going to hear what I'm saying, because that's how it was for you. Like you knew that you heard things, but you were too scared to tell people, because people already, you might have already been like me, the black sheep. People already think you crazy. So if you tell them that you're hearing spirit, that's going to really have a devastating effect on your life in many cases. And so you hide that. And so for those of you that have been hiding it, you can come out now. You can come out. It's safe. You are supported. You are supported, and you can move through the fear. Move through the fear. And so that's something also that I'm here to share with you guys. Yes, these gifts, they can be very scary, especially when they first start coming online for you, Or really, y'all, it's really about remembering, because you've already had these gifts and you've had them many times. If you have them now, you've had them in other lifetimes, you've had them as a child, you've had them. And so what happens is, what's going to start happening for you is you'll start to really remember, and you'll start to think about some of the things that happened to you in the past, even as a child. Some of the things that you experienced that you didn't have any explanation for. These things will start to show up for you. And I just saw a bird fly past my window, y'all. It was crazy. But and I'm on the second floor, that's why I said that. But anyway, you'll start to experience that. And it can be challenging, it can be scary, but it can also be joyful. Because one of the reasons why I know that I'm here to speak these truths is to share with you guys, so that you know that these things can be joyful when they come online, and they can really enhance your life. They can enhance your life, they can enhance your business, your work life, all of those things, because you'll start to use these gifts in all kind of situations. Like, I used to think that I could only use them in different situations and compartmentalize them, but I use them now in everything. Everywhere that I go, I start to really connect with the spirit team. Before I go, even while I'm standing there, I can do that, because you can do these things through intention. And so even as you're standing there, you don't have to talk it out loud. You can just say it in your head. And I've done that. And I'm going to share a little story time that I did just recently with these gifts, that just really like got me, because I was like, okay, I know that this worked. I actually have learned this. I actually teach this, and I use this even in my sessions with my clients. I use this and I say, you know what? You can shift the energy. And so I did. So I had a situation where I went to a massage shop, and it was an Asian massage shop. And I say that only because sometimes they are hard to deal with, because they act like they can't speak English, and many of them can. But a lot of times they can't speak it to the level that you can understand, or they can understand you. And so I went to this one shop, and my husband and we wanted to get massages. And we had called, and they said they could take us. But when we got there, the energy was so off. The lady was so, she just had this negative scowl on her face. And so I didn't know whether it was because it was us, or because, she was tired, and I kind of started kicking all these things around. But I decided, and I set the intention right in that moment to shift that energy, because if not, I was going to have to leave. And my husband really wanted to get this massage. And so I knew I was going to have to leave if I didn't shift this energy. So I started in my mind thinking about that thing, and I started really calling forth, good energy. And I started speaking that, she was okay, and she was going to get herself together, and she was just tired. And so I was sending her energy and strength and peace and love. And I did all this in just a matter of just a few seconds. And the energy shifted in that area. And I actually had to decide um, I had to decide if, this was something I needed to do. You know what I mean? If something I wanted to do. And that's another thing. We can use these gifts in all kinds of ways. If you don't want to do it, you can decide not to do it. You can decide that everything is going to be okay if you don't do it. You know what I mean? So you can set these intentions. And so these are ways that you can use and connect to your spiritual gifts and your team, and really begin to open up doors for yourself in order to be able to use that. All right, so that's all I have for you today. Thank you for joining me live. If you are on TikTok, join me there. And I'm there at Intuitive Tammi, where I do healings, messages from spirit, and prayers daily. So join me. I haven't gone live today, but I will be today as well. Thank you so much, Kendra, for joining. Thank you, Kelly, for joining. I appreciate y'all. I hope that everything is well with you. And if you are looking for some support, I'm here. I also just opened up phone readings, which we talk on the phone for 30 minutes and see how I can help you, see what it is that you need. I have those sessions. They are $55 for phone readings. I actually have a post on this platform as well about those. I also have Zoom readings if that's something that you're looking for as well. And I also am doing this, creating this course right now, which I'm so excited about, connecting your chakras and your psychic and your mediumship gifts that I'm sure most of you have if you're watching me. So that is something that I have out there. I'm also doing a psychic development circle, and it is called Unlocking Your Psychic Potential Development Circle. It is on Eventbrite. I also will post it here as well. I'll put the link in the comments, but that is something that I'm creating to create community for us, for people that are looking for community. People that are, you've been the oddball, or you've been the strange one. You're opening up to your spiritual gifts, and you know that you have them, and you know that you have a destiny, but you're not really sure where to go with it. And so this circle is for those people to come in and join us. We're going to do development. There's training that's going to be held, as well as breakout rooms so that you can practice, in a safe space, so that you're not out here, practicing and people are, shutting you down and being nasty and evil. No, none of that. So this is a circle that I've created for that. It starts next month. It's going to start October. Let's see. It's going to start Thursday, October the 3rd. And it's going to be a weekly circle where we join together every week. It's going to be $100 a month, which is $25 a circle. And we'll just come together and join and learn and, just grow together. And that is my goal, because that was something that I desired to have when I first got on this journey. But I'm telling you, I have done a lot of, I have a lot of YouTube mentors that I studied and followed. I have a lot of books that I read, I have a lot of resources in that way that I did. But I wish that I had this available, for myself to come and join, because $100 is not a lot. Like I said, I wanted to keep it, reasonable so people could come in and price wouldn't be a barrier. So that's something that I created for that, as well as my phone readings. Because, people were saying, oh, well, I don't have $155 for the Zoom. I said, that's fine. I said, we can do it on the phone. So that's something that I created as well. So if that's something that you are looking for, come on, because I love to do healing work. I love to do messages from spirit, sometimes messages from heaven. Sometimes beautiful people come through from heaven with messages that are so helpful to people. So any of those things can happen in these sessions. I truly do love to do them. So if it's something that you were kicking around and you said, oh, I can't afford $200 and $300 and $400, I have this phone reading for $55. 55 US dollars. And we just get together on the phone. If you want to do it on a Facebook phone call, it doesn't matter to me, however you want to do it. But I just want to be of service in that way. So again, thank you for joining. Make sure that you join me tomorrow for my live as well. And if you're on TikTok, follow me there. I'll be live today at Intuitive Tammi. My husband, U.S. Navy retired, and I are also live as well sometimes on that app. So if you like to come on and listen, he loves to talk about stories. We love to help couples. Doesn't matter what kind of couple. Love is love. That's what we believe. And so we like to help couples to continue to grow together and to love each other and to, and to actually manifest the life that they're looking for and that they desire. Because we have a lot of wisdom to share. I am 55 years old. My husband just turned 65 years old. So between us, we probably have about 50 years of relationship advice, because we were all both married to starter spouses, and now we have each other and we're professional. And so we have, all of this wisdom that, that we are sharing for free. So join us there. We appreciate you. I love you. Make sure that you are watching some more videos from me and help me to monetize on this platform so that I can do this work, because this work is so important to me. And this is why I've been coming on here daily now, probably for about the last month or two, except for last week, because I was on the boat. I was on a Princess cruise, 7 days to Alaska. So I don't know if y'all been on a cruise, but the Wi-Fi sucks. Like, I tried to stream and do a live, and I did one, but it just, it's in and out. It kind of messed with me after I watched it. But yeah, so I wasn't able to do lives every day, but typically I'm on here every day live. And so you can find me every single day live. Make sure that you like, share, and you subscribe it out so more people can get a hold of this beautiful wisdom and knowledge that God is delivering through me. And I just really thank you. Kendra, thank you. Kelly, thank you for joining me and watching. I appreciate y'all. And I hope your day is magical. Make sure also that you're watching my podcast, Straight Out of Savannah. That is my podcast that now, like before I started niching down, I interviewed everybody. Now I interview spiritual entrepreneurs. So I have lots of psychics, channelers, mediums, human design experts, numerologists, astrologers, am I leaving anybody out? Quantum healers, anybody that does holistic healers, anybody that does any type of healing and that is changing the planet, that is who I interview. So if that is you, reach out to me and we'll get you on an interview if you're trying to get your message out there. I have one that will be premiering on Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. This Friday, the 13th of September. It's premiering 5 p.m. So make sure you're checking that out. It'll probably pop up on the podcast section even earlier because I'm actually processing it this day. And I tell you, I hate editing. That's the reason why I come live. However, I'm doing it and I'm making it happen. So again, thank you for joining. I hope that, something that I said resonated with you and that, that your day is going to be magical because of it, or your week, or that something shifted within you and you're able to, heal some things. You're able to see the patterns within you. You're able to invite your spiritual gifts and begin to really work with them and really use them to help you in your life. So thank you so much for joining. Love y'all. Bye now.